My guest today is someone who's had a storied career in the world of soccer. She played in college at Arizona State and was an assistant coach at Maryland and the head coach at Marymount and George Mason. Manya Puppione. Manya, like I said before we start recording here, I mean, just such an honor to be chatting with you today. And I saw that you're the director of college recruitment and player counseling with Virginia Revolution. So, just how did that current position come about?
Yeah, no, Sam, thank you so much for having me. It's definitely an honor to be here with you. But yeah, it's my current position right now. It's for a youth club in Northern Virginia. So I work with both boys and girls and help guiding them with their college recruiting process, which I'm very familiar with, having been, D1, D2, D3 college coach, both head and assistants for those. So just an opportunity came about to move into this role after coaching club for a different club. This is a pretty relatively new club in the same area that I've been. My husband is actually a college coach, or I'm sorry, a club coach as well, but he's with a different club. So we were coaching together. He left for another club. I left for this club. It was just a really perfect timing with the opportunity and just, something that I have experience with. And I just really enjoy working with the players and also the parents too, and just educating them on the process. Like college recruiting process is growing, it's changing, it's dynamic. So to be sort of that middle person and helping them, guide them in their process has been really rewarding. And it's just really cool to see their growth and understanding and just see, like, all right, this player committed, to a school, like I can celebrate with them.
Right on, absolutely. How did you first get just interested in playing soccer?
Oh, so I have two older brothers. So being the youngest, I would look up to them a lot. I was total tomboy, so I did all the sports. I wanted to do what they were doing, and of course, they played soccer, they played other sports as well. So, I think, one of my first town teams, there wasn't a girls' team, so I ended up playing on a boys' team, with one of my good friends, Allison, and we just like had a blast and just really fell in love with it. I played other sports up and through high school. Like I did gymnastics, I did basketball, I did baseball, I did softball. In high school, I ran track and field as well. But soccer just, it just stuck. I loved it. I was, good at it and was getting, more opportunities at higher levels, with that sport. So by the time high school came about, I had to make that choice. Did I go gymnastics or basketball or, did I go soccer? So, I definitely credit, my athleticism, to playing multiple sports, but also to my brothers, because I had to evade them, and they would want to come after me and beat me up as the younger sister, but they definitely made me tough. I owe a lot of my my grit and my hard work and my discipline to emulating what my brothers were doing as well.
You sort of mentioned your experiences in high school a bit, but in what ways did those experiences help prepare you for going to college?
Yeah. Oh, they definitely did. I think it helped a lot, like with my confidence. Knowing that like as a sophomore, I was on the varsity team and, getting, becoming a starter and earning all these accolades that like I didn't even know at the time, like that I was, at that level. Until, I was All-American my junior and my senior year. So that like, kind of helped boost a lot of my confidence. And then I also was involved in ODP, Olympic Development Program, just another sort of outside organization that looks for, those elite players. So, I got named to the regional team, and then I think it was the summer before my senior year in high school, I got called into my first national team camp, and I was like so nervous. But because of the experiences, that I had in high school, what I had with the regional team, it gave me a lot of confidence. And I just loved playing. Like I was ultimate competitor. I will like challenge you to anything and everything just because I wanted to win everything. But I had fun like doing it. Like I didn't necessarily take myself too seriously. And I think maybe at times that, maybe could have hurt me, but I think it also helped me in the long run because like I kept the love and the passion, for the game moving into college. Because college, being a student athlete can be grueling. It's like a full-time job in addition to going to school. It's a higher level, you're away from home, like you've been at home for 18 years and then all of a sudden, you have to go to this different environment that's a higher level. But I was prepared. I had been used to traveling and being away from home. So the experiences that I had in high school like ultimately helped me excel at that next level in college.
Yes, for sure. Now, how did you decide to attend a ASU? Like what sort of factors went into that decision?
Yeah, oh my goodness. It was a tough decision for sure. I grew up in Connecticut, so I was looking to go to Yale, which is like my backyard, and like one of my club coaches was the coach there. I was looking at UConn. I had a lot of interest, just from being on the national team and getting my name out there. I was looking at Florida, Boston College, Vanderbilt. My dream was like always like UCLA or Santa Clara, but they didn't look at me, but it's okay. But after I got called into my first national team camp, that's when my interest in Arizona State started to grow because my national team coach, Tracy, um, was married to Ray Leon, who was the head coach at Arizona State at the time. And like I had gone on to a visit there. I was like, let me just be open. I absolutely fell in love with Arizona State and just the team, the players, the vision, just everything lined up like in what I was looking for. And I didn't even know it. I was like, let me just go on this trip and see. I really enjoyed Tracy as a national team coach. She really sort of set my career and my path, even after college, and just helping me become like the disciplined and like professional player that I was. So I got back home from my visit and I was like, this is where I want to go. So I wanted to cancel like all the other visits that I had set up. And I did, but I ended up going on one more just to like be sure. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like I just knew it was the right fit with, just the team, the coach, the location. I did not like cold weather, so Arizona was like a perfect fit with the weather piece. And it was just like it was far from home. I just wanted a different experience than being, in Connecticut for another 4 years. I wanted to, test myself and challenge myself and, go after my dreams. And I knew that like the coaching staff at ASU would help me do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's super cool is that not only did you go to ASU, but you majored in journalism, which
Yes.
is my major as well, which is awesome. So how did you even decide on doing journalism as a major?
Yeah, I never like would have thought that would have been my major. I just wanted to play soccer. That was me in high school. I was a good student, I got good grades, but soccer was my focus. It was my dream to play professional soccer. So I was looking for a school that would help me do that. I knew I wanted to get my degree. I knew how much, academics is important, especially with the values that my family instilled in me. Um, I think it was my senior year of high school. I took like a writing class and like poetry and like I realized I was actually like pretty decent at writing. So this dream sort of started to develop in me in addition to playing soccer. Is like I wanted to write for like ESPN or Sports Illustrated. Like I always wanted sports in my life once I was done like hanging up my cleats. So I ended up applying and getting in, and like I'm just so grateful that I was able to be a part of such like a renowned program like the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. I really enjoyed like all of my classes. I really developed, my style, figured out who I was as a writer. But I really did enjoy like being a part of that program, and I'm grateful for it.
That is awesome. That's so great to hear. Are there any specific journalism classes that you remember taking?
Oh my goodness, it was so long ago. Um, there was this one professor, she was called Dr. Love. I don't know if she's there anymore, but her name was Dr. Galatian. And she had this one class, and I think it was my freshman year. She had this class called Sex, Love, and Romance in Mass Media. So we like depicted like Disney movies and looked at all like the myths and like all the messages like in all these Disney movies. It was just a really like fun class. And I was like, okay, like journalism can be fun. Like that's pretty cool. So I think I may have taken like one or two more of her classes, but that one I definitely remember it because it was like one of my first classes and it was fun.
Were there any like particular favorite places that you like to go to in Tempe? And this can be restaurants, like parks, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely focused on soccer, so I didn't enjoy like the nightlife, the robust nightlife. But obviously Mill Avenue has all like the bars and restaurants. But my teammates and I, like after training, like we would always go to the juice spot. It was like a smoothie place. There was like an Einstein Bagels place. So we would always get like two bagels, a coffee, a smoothie, because we were just like so tired from training, and training was done by like 9 a.m. So we had like a full day of classes. So we fueled up those places. I remember going to this Italian place called Oregano's, and they had this one dessert called the Pizookie. It's like a half-baked like pizza cookie. We were like obsessed with that place. But I remember like Filiberto's, like the taco place, like just all the food places. It was so good. Like we couldn't get enough of all the food. And obviously, as athletes, you have to fuel up, so it was a good excuse to go try a new place.
Yes, for sure. Gosh, I'm glad you mentioned oregano's. That's one of my favorites. I love getting the pasta there. It's
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah, I remember getting the pasta called the Big Rig, and it was like so good. And I have not found a place that can like replicate that. So I need to come back and visit. Hopefully, it's still there.
Yes, for sure. And during your career at ASU, I mean, you had this great penchant for scoring game-winning goals. You were so clutch. It's really amazing. How did you find those ways to come up in those big moments?
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I have to give credit to my teammates because I think a lot of my goals, if not all of them, were like team goals. Like we found ways to score, whether we were down and we needed to tie or, had a tie game and we needed to, to win the game. But I mean, my teammates and I, we were like just competitive. Like we were problem solvers. Like we just found a way to, get these goals, and I just happened to be on the end of them. But yeah, I mean, I do remember a couple of them. So, yeah, I think it was just like that competitiveness, that will to win and just like try to figure it out.
I read that one of your game winners, it was against U of A in 2004. It was a header in like the 72nd minute. What do you remember from that game and the goal you scored?
Yeah, I did not head the ball. Like I hated heading the ball. And I remember like it wasn't like this glorious like cross came in, I did this like diving header. It was not anything like that. But again, like going against U of A, like that was our rival, and like you found a way to win. Like it came down to like who wanted it more, like who would like lay their body on the line. And I remember doing just that. I just remember there was like a scramble, like the ball popped up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hit this, but I'm gonna go after it. And I just like ended up like knocking it in the goal, and like I didn't even think I could like make it in with my head. Like I didn't think it went in until everybody was just like going crazy. Like that games against U of A, like you did not lose. Like there was no choice. You went after it, and you like would lay your body on the line to score any goal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, in such a heated rivalry like that, ASU and U of A, I mean, of course, just got to go all out.
Absolutely. You do what you can.
Are there any other games or particular moments from your time at ASU that stick out to you?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my memories are just like with my friends who are my teammates. Like we were all best friends, and like we were just like a goofy bunch. Like we would just, we didn't party, we didn't drink. We were so focused on our team and just doing, like what was gonna help us succeed and bond on and off the field. And we would just hang out and just do random goofy stuff, whether it's like maybe I shouldn't say this. We skateboarded. I don't like if our coach would have liked that we were skateboarding in these like parking ramps, but like we would skateboard, we would scooter, like we would just do like fun, goofy stuff. And like that's where a lot of my memories are. I do have a lot of memories from games and like game winning goals and winning big games and just the places that we played. I mean, we were in the Pac-10 at the time, so we got to travel up and down the West Coast and experience some cool stuff. And you bond a lot like while you're traveling with your team, while you're missing classes, long weekends, because we would be away for, such long periods of times to play two games on a weekend. You really do bond, and you really do find a way to like love each other, like through thick and thin. I just remember, every time I would leave to go home for winter break or summer break, like we would literally 2 in the morning climb up a mountain just to like have that experience together and like reflect on the season and talk about, the future. We really were for each other. So like they were my best friends and I'm still in contact with a lot of them and it's just really cool to see like what they've done with with their lives after college. Like I said, it's just really cool to see what they're doing. And a lot of them have, stuck with the game, whether it's through coaching. I have friends that are in Utah, friends that are still in Arizona, friends that are actually have moved back or moved here to Northern Virginia. So it's just really cool to like keep in touch with those that you share all these awesome memories with and like talk about, our times there. And I've been able to go out, I think maybe once or twice for like the alumni game that the coaches do in April. So it's just really cool to just see, like see them have families and just see what they're doing and just see, like talk about that the memories that we have from ASU. So it's nice that you have that bond and you can continue to have that bond even if you don't talk every day.
Yes, for sure. And then of course at ASU you were coached by Ray Leone and you were also coached by his wife Tracy. What would you say were the most important things that you learned from the both of them?
Yeah, I would definitely say just that overall professionalism of like how you carry yourself. Because I was that high schooler that like came into college thinking like they knew everything and just like cocky and it's less they really instilled these values in me to like they knew I wanted to play pro. So it's like how can we get this this young girl to understand how she needs to behave and act on and off the field in order to like help her be successful in that. So, I credit to both of them as like being my second set of parents, because I was so far away from home. But also I would say just, that competitiveness, like that fire that was in me, they definitely brought that out of me and like knew how to challenge me without, kind of crushing my spirit. Like they knew that I would be up for any sort of competition or challenge. So, I do credit them for the development that I had in my 4 years and beyond playing for them. So I'm gonna be forever grateful for what they've done for me in my playing career and just like my own human development too.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And then also, no, in what ways would you say that they perhaps influenced you in your coaching career?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I knew I always wanted to coach and, while we were there, we would host clinics for young kids. We wanted them to come to games. So, hey, come kick around with us. So like since then I was like, yeah, I definitely want to coach, but I want to be able to play as long as I can too. So after I retired from playing professionally in 2013, I did come out of retirement in 14 for one stint, and then it was early 2016 when Ray Leon and I had kept in touch with him. I had seen him a few times. He got the head coach job at Maryland and he called me up and he's like, I want you to come coach with me. And I was like, I was just coaching high school and club at the time. I was figuring out like, okay, what is my next step after I retire from playing? Like, what am I doing? And I really like thought about it. And I was like, this seems so cool. Like, I'm in, like, let's do it. So I ended up coaching with him at Maryland for 3 years and just really like appreciated that I was able to, go from playing for him for 4 years and like seeing him develop as a coach as well, and then be able to make this transition to coach with him and just see like the trust that he had in me with the players and working with them on one-on-one. And he really kind of launched my college coaching career. I had coached in grad school previously at a D2, but I was still kind of playing at the time. So this was like my first like career, like college coach career job. So I'm very grateful that he, like took that chance on me. And then, from there I was able to become a head coach at a D3. And then I became a D1 head coach. So, the experience with him really helped, launch my career and then help me like prepare for what was next after working with him.
What would you say is the overall impact that ASU has had on your life?
Oh my goodness. I'm just so grateful for having such an amazing experience there and just like the growth. Cause I mean, I constantly reflect back at my times and like anytime, my players ask me or anyone asks me, like, all right, there's that question, like, if you could go back to any time in your life, like, what would it be? And like right away, I'm like, ASU. Like, I wish I could go back to college there and experience what I experienced over and over and over and again. It wasn't just the soccer, like, it was it's a fantastic, still is like athletic school. and just what they're doing, with their sports programs, the academic side of things, like it's continuing to grow. I mean, I'm sure I don't even like recognize some places of it now that, that's how much growth this place has had, but I'm just grateful, for that overall experience to, have been there as a student athlete to impact, the community there, to impact the athletic department there, and just, start a legacy for the women's soccer program there. It's been awesome to see that growth, and it's been awesome to, be a fan while coaching college, but also be a fan of ASU and what they're doing. Um, yeah, just an overall like positive impact. I miss it so much, and I wish I can go back there as a college student, but I'm just grateful for the memories.
Yeah, right on, right on. Now we got to talk about this. This is super cool. You also got to play in Europe, which is, I mean, I bet that was pretty amazing. I mean, what are some of your favorite memories from getting to play in Europe?
Yeah, oh my goodness. I am so grateful for that experience too. I mean, my first 2 years playing pro was here in the States and grateful for that. We started a league. It's the second women's pro league that, that happened. The third one is happening right now. But I had torn my ACL my second year playing, so it was pretty difficult to come back. So, I got an agent and I was like, I just want to keep playing. So he found me a team in Iceland and I was like, oh my goodness, like I hate the cold. Like, what am I gonna do? But I had an absolute like amazing time there. Like it is one of the most beautiful places. Like soccer has brought me to so many different places. Has shown me the world. Like I've been able to experience so many cool things. So to live and play soccer for a year in Iceland was just phenomenal. I was able to travel to other countries, and then after that, I played a year in Finland. So same thing, like just a really cool experience. I was on an island in between Sweden and Finland, so that was like a really cool experience as well because we got to travel to Sweden and Finland, and then just travel. I got to play in two different UEFA championships, so I got to go to like Bosnia and Herzegovina. Like, who gets to do that and play soccer there? Like, such a cool thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just experiencing something different, experiencing different cultures, different style of soccer. You have to adjust. You can't play American style football over there and expect to do well. So it expanded my game. It just expanded, my own sort of views on the world. And I just, I'm grateful for those experiences.
Hey, that's amazing. That's amazing. And now, I really want to talk about this. I know your faith is a very big part of your life. Just how important has that kind of been throughout your career and then just, of course, your life in general?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So I gave my life to the Lord at ASU, like my senior year in college. So that is again like why ASU is such a special place to me. Like the Lord has used soccer to like save my life. Basically, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for him using that to, bring me to all the experiences that I've had and just, help instill in me such like a gratitude for him and the talents and experiences that he's given me. So I actually am wearing my Jesus Saves from the ASU football team. They wore this in their stint this past season, so it was really cool to see, the football team and all those players, creating this wave of just like exposure for, Christian athletes. So for me, what the Lord has done for me through soccer has completely changed my life, and I'm just like so grateful for it. So it definitely plays a huge part in, decisions that I make and the way that I operate, with my players or, with other college coaches or other, club coaches as well. But yeah, it's a complete influence day to day in everything that I do.
Now, last question here, just what is the biggest piece of advice that you have for aspiring soccer players?
Yeah, I love this question. And I think I answer it in a similar way each time. Um, it's having fun. If you are not having fun, then like what's the point? For me, yes, I was serious about, my training. I was serious about my body, what I fueled my body with, sleep, nutrition, all those things. Just because I knew what it takes to get to that next level. It's making sacrificial decisions of, maybe not going out to that party, but like, all right, I gotta get some rest because I gotta wake up 5 a.m. the next day to get this training in. But for me, I kept that overall sense of like love and passion for the game. It was something that I absolutely loved, growing up, and I may had like started to lose it a little bit, but then I was able to regain it because I just focused on my why. Like, why am I playing the sport? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I wake up every morning, and get excited to go train and actually like love doing fitness? Like players don't love doing fitness, but like I fell in love with it. And I think that's what helped, sustain my career and get me to the level that I was able to play at is because I just absolutely loved it. I loved, the discipline. I loved the hard work. I loved the sweat. I loved, crying when it got hard. But just overall, just like absolutely loved playing.
Well, thank you so much, Manya, for your time today and being able to speak with you. Just such an honor, and you're a great person to chat with. So just thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you, Sam. I really do appreciate you having me on.